How do you make $50,000 per year? I believe $50,000 is the first income level that you need to make in order to live a comfortable, good, decent life in the U.S. It is the average income just about in the United States of America. It varies a little bit depending on what state you live inside the U.S., but that's the first target goal income level you should have in order to live a financially free life. Because to live financially free, income is your number one driver of financial freedom. Cutting your expenses is not the main driver of your financial freedom. You need to cut your expenses, but having income and having reliable income is the key. Never forget it. It's the key to financial freedom. So, how do you obtain $50,000 a year? Well, the first step is, like everything in life, you don't try to swallow it in one bite. You don't try to achieve it in one step. Every goal is achieved by breaking that goal down to small individual steps. So you break a big goal down into small steps. So the first step is understanding how do you get there. So you need to understand how much you need to make per day. So, okay, how do you do that? Do you take $50,000 and divide it by 365 because that's how many days there are in a year? No, you don't do that. Why don't you do that? You don't do that because you're not going to work 7 days a week all year long. And that's an unsustainable, unhealthy lifestyle. And you want to build a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. So you have to account for the weekends and for holidays. So you have to take $50,000 and you divide it by 250. 250 days is approximately how many days that are in the calendar year if you account for the weekends and holidays. So once you take 50,000, you divide it by 250, then you get how much you need to make per working day to achieve $50,000. And once you take 50,000, you divide it by 250, you get 200. $200 per working day is how much you need to make in order to achieve $50,000 per year. Break it down into one more step. You take $200, you take 200 and you divide it by 8. That's about how many working hours a normal person works per day. So 200 divided by 8 is 25. You need to make $25 an hour to achieve $50,000 per year. And when I say $50,000 per year, that's per person in a household. If you make $50,000, you have 2 pets, a spouse, and a dog, you are going to live in poverty. It's $50,000 per person in the household. Okay? And so you need to make at least $25 per hour. You need to make $200 per day. And so if you're coming at it from an entrepreneur standpoint, if you're having your own business, I own my own business, you do electrical contracting, you do plumbing, you paint houses, you clean houses, you walk dogs, you don't have to always make $200 per day or $25 per hour. Sometimes you're going to make a little bit less, and some days you may make none. Some days you may make more. The key is when the deal isn't on the table, don't try to force the deal. Some of the best jobs you will ever take as a business owner are the ones that you don't take, okay? Turning away work sometimes is wisdom. The person is shysty, you don't feel right around them, you feel like, it's not going to end good, the job is beyond what you feel comfortable doing, different things like that. That you have to remember when you're taking on jobs, whether you're a freelancer or whether you're even going to take a job on a salary or hourly basis. But you need to understand how you get there. You need to understand those metrics, how much you need to make per hour, how much you need to make per day, and then you need to know you don't force it. And you need to also remember you start now. You start now and you build your way up. If you started at $12 an hour, guess what? You're halfway there. Okay, so if you started making $12 an hour, you're halfway there. Can you work $12 an hour and then pick up one job after work that would yield you? So if you worked 12 for $12 an hour, you're pretty much halfway there. So let's just say you can pick up another job after work that would make you about $125, something like that. You could clean one house. I think you can make $100 and something if you clean one house. You can hang one ceiling fan. You can paint somebody's house. You could I delivered pizzas at one time. It's tough to make $125 a day. But, there's different things you can do to supplement your income if you're only making $10, $12 an hour. But you have a goal, you have a structure on how you need to look at the math behind for me, the first target income level you should have. Because again, you can cut your expenses down, but income is the key to financial freedom, because you're always going to have expenses. You're always going to have car insurance, health insurance, gas. You have to feed yourself. You can never cut away all expenses. Therefore, you're always going to need income, and a certain amount that gives you the ability, the empowerment to live comfortably.